So once again, we're going to be talking about the Just Stop Oil activists. This time, one of them went on Sky News. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay, so I've seen it already. I'm going to show it to Sabby and you guys. It's a little bit difficult to watch because of just how annoying this woman is. I found this to be the most annoying one out of all of them.
Okay.
And she's not even throwing paint on anyone yet.
We're joined now by Indigo Rumbelow from Just Stop Oil. Thanks for coming in. What do you think you're achieving with these incredibly disruptive and also dangerous protests?
Hello. I'm sure you'll agree we're in an incredibly grave situation with the climate crisis. So Just Stop Oil has one simple demand, and that is that the UK government put an end to licensing new oil and gas in the UK.
But I'm interested to know about these tactics. What evidence do you have that blocking the busiest motorway in the UK, causing endless disruption for tens of thousands of people, is actually achieving anything?
We need everybody to come to join us so we don't have to cause this type of disruption on the motorways. We need to be sat outside Parliament with tens and tens of thousands.
But everyone's not going to join you if you're pissing everyone off. Why would I join your cause if you are disrupting me? God forbid I ever had an elderly person in my car, or someone was pregnant, or somebody needs to get to the hospital, or I just need to get home to take a shit. Any number of reasons. And you're stopping me from getting home and you don't want me to join your cause. I don't understand the logic here. There must be a smarter way of doing this. There has to be.
I mean, with protesting, I think it is a difficult one because you can protest peacefully or you can protest that's not causing disruption to people. I'm not defending protesters before anyone jumps down my throat. Like, this is very inconvenient. But what other way are they going to be heard? Do you know what I mean? That's probably why they're doing it, because they are being heard this way.
Yeah, but they want people to join their cause so that the government does something, but they're actually making people stand against them. I understand with protests can sometimes, they can cause for a heightened response, but if you can see your response is not working, don't you think that's a sign to change it? I'm not saying that I have the answer, but I do know that this isn't working. So just because I don't have an alternative doesn't mean you should continue with this bad plan. The public are not on your side. We are firmly against you.
They are saying they want people to join them, but I think the fact that they know it's pissing people off, they probably are doing it even more because nobody's helping them or joining them. So they're like, all right, if you lot aren't going to help me out, then fuck all of you, basically.
And if you continue with that attitude, someone's going to get hurt. Like, I'm not advocating for anyone to get hurt, but just realistically speaking, if you keep on pissing people off, especially on busy roads where people are trying to get to work or get back from work, pick up their kids, go home just after a long day's work, whatever the reason is, someone's going to get hurt. Someone is going to get pissed off. You're going to do it in the wrong area, or the wrong person's going to come by and they're going to teach you a lesson that you're not going to want to learn. I'm
sure I heard something the other day, though, that said protesters can now get up to 10 years in prison.
What, in the UK?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I'll look it up. I mean, I don't want to make a sweeping rule that protesters should get 10 years in prison, because I'm not against protesting.
Yeah, but we are against the fact that what they're doing is very dangerous and detrimental to a lot of people.
Yeah, the way they're going about the protest, I'm against this. But the right to protest is something that people should have. They protest during the lockdowns, they protest in America over all sorts of things. They're protesting in Iran right now. We're seeing how the government are treating them. I don't think you should take away the people's right to protest, but this is stupid and it's annoying and you're inconveniencing people. And if your cause is to get people on your side, it's not working.
Yeah.
It's not working. I'm telling you 100%.
Of people demanding an end to new oil and gas.
Yes, but you don't need to resort to this kind of disruptive behaviour, because it seems to me what people are talking about, Indigo, are your methods and not your message. So your message is being completely lost because of the methods that you are using, which are infuriating people and disrupting life for so many people.
So the climate crisis is disrupting people around the world right now. And even here in the UK this summer, we saw the effects of the climate crisis, with the UK getting 40 degrees heat and birds falling out of the sky and pensioners dying before they should. This is just the beginning, and the climate crisis is going to get worse and worse and worse unless we act.
But we know that. We cover that. We cover that on the news. We know all that. Yeah. I'm just talking about these tactics. The message you have, the message that you want to get across, get completely lost. I mean, your message is certainly lost on the woman who didn't get to hospital for her stroke treatment. Your message is certainly lost on the patient who didn't get to hospital for her cancer treatment appointment. And your message is also certainly lost on Tony Bambury, the man who missed his father's funeral. So I guess my question is, what is the point of doing it like this?
So it's very clear that the disruption will end.
That is the problem here. This guy nailed it. It's not the fact that there isn't some sort of climate problem. That's a discussion that I'm willing to have. I'm not willing to have it if you are blocking me from getting home or blocking me from getting to a destination that I need to be at. I'm just not willing to have that conversation with you. I will take up that fight with a group of people that I feel happy standing behind. You guys come across like you have escaped Arkham Asylum and you need to be put back in the loony home. I've only come across this once, and luckily when I did, it's when they were like putting the sticks on the motorway in central London. I don't know what was going on. They were like protesting trees being taken down or something. It was back during like the beginning of the pandemic or something was going on. It was quite a while ago. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with them because I was already turning off. But I could see what was going on. I could see how angry people were getting. And I can only imagine in that sea of people, if you happen to be the person that has got someone that is gravely sick, or if you need to get to somebody that is gravely sick, or whatever the serious situation is, that's how you end up radicalizing people. Because if I lose someone because of you, or if I lose a job opportunity because of you, or if I end up shitting myself in my car because of you, I'm not listening to you. I don't care what you have to say. We are going to watch the world burn together. That's where people are right now. There may be a problem, but two wrongs don't make a right. And just because the government might be messing us up with one thing, we don't need you arse clowns out there causing more of a problem for us. People already have a hard enough time getting to work and getting back from work and picking up their kids and dealing with all the problems that they have to deal with. They don't need to be dealing with you, Indigo Rumbelow.
Yeah.
What a weird name.
I think it's a sick name.
Indigo. She sounds like one of them characters on King of Fighters. Have you ever played King of Fighters?
No.
You don't even know what that is, do you?
No.
Okay, let's just continue.
As soon as the government issued this statement to stop new oil and gas. But we will have to continue because at the moment, I just do not know what else we're going to do. Do you have any other ideas of how we could get our government
it's not for me to give you
issue
ideas.
a statement to end new oil and gas? Because this isn't an issue of just green policy or just the climate protesters. It's an issue that's going to impact you. It's going to impact me. It's going to impact your children if you have children. And it's impacting people around the world. So our government's decision to go ahead with new oil and gas with the full knowledge that this will kill millions of people is a complete act of betrayal on my generation.
But we're talking about here now the tactics that you are using. I mean, listen to what Tony Bambury said. These people have forced me not to go to my father's funeral. And it's not like I get a second chance. I will never forget what they have done, and I will never forgive what they have done. So my point again to you is that the way you are going about this means that people are not listening to the message. They are just talking about the method, and they don't like the method.
It's a very serious situation.
But we know that. Well, I'm talking about the tactics you are using. Listen to the police officer, Chief Constable of...
You did not answer his question.
Yeah.
We agree actually we don't agree, but I'm willing to listen to you if there is a climate problem, but I'm not willing to listen when you behave like this. What Sky News needs to do now, and Piers Morgan and anyone else that has these idiots on there, they need to bring the Tonys and whoever else had their lives affected by this person and her group. They need to stand before them and look them in the eye and say that they are justified in doing what they're doing, and your dad's funeral was a necessary sacrifice. That's what I want to see now.
Yeah,
you can look someone in the eye and tell them that your father's death and you not getting to see him one last time was a necessary sacrifice, then we'll go from there. But as far as I'm concerned, these are cowards. And if they keep on pushing people like this, they're going to learn a lesson. You can't keep poking the bear. The bear's going to bite back eventually. That's just how it's going to be.
It was a dog.
Huh?
I thought it was a dog.
We can't keep poking that. Let's poke the bear.
If you keep poking at a dog, eventually he's going to bite.
Well, yeah, the dog will bite. But the reason people say bears, because bears kill you. They take a chunk out of you.
Okay.
Have you seen that guy that got attacked by the bear? His whole ear was taken off.
Yeah.
I won't put it in this video because we'll get taken down.
I think it is only a matter of time before somebody gets killed. The only way this is going to stop is if Just Stop Oil frankly grow up and realise that they are putting people's lives at risk. Doesn't he have a point that...
I'm not even in the police force. Anyone can see what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
If you actually care about human life, you guys need to chill.
But is it going to take for that to happen for everyone to realise maybe we shouldn't do this?
No.
Will it even stop them?
No, it won't stop. It's going to get worse. What's going to happen is that these guys are too stupid to see what's about to happen. They're doubling down. And the British public are going to double down as well. And wherever else this is happening, because it's happening in Amsterdam and in different parts of Europe, people are going to double down. They're going to double down. The difference is that these climate protesters are outnumbered. That's the deep thing about this. I don't want any of them to get hurt, but what do you think is going to happen if you get one charismatic speaker in the middle of the M25 that riles up the rest of the traffic to go and do something to these people?
Yeah, but the thing is that that's not happening. Even though they're outnumbered, how is no one able to actually just prevent this?
The government needs to do something about it.
Yeah,
They need to...
do nothing.
I don't want them to criminalize protesting. I just want them to deal with this on an individual basis, because I'm not here trying to advocate for criminalizing protesting. I think any country that has done that has likely got a fascist government, and that's not what I want here. This form of protest is not helping your cause. If your cause is to get people to rally behind you so that we can tackle the climate problem, if there is one, this is not working. That's the simple fact of it. If you're okay with the number of people you've got fighting this right now, then fine, whatever. Continue doing what you're doing and you're going to find out the hard way. But from what it sounds like to me, you guys want us on your side. And I'm telling you, and I can tell you from looking at our TikTok comment section, people don't like this either. Yeah. And I can tell you from looking at TikTok hashtags and comment section on YouTube and Facebook messages and Instagram, people do not like what you're doing. So continue doing what you're doing. Your cause is going to die.
Don't continue what you're doing.
No, continue. You're adults. You make your own decisions. But I'm telling you, if you fuck around, you're going to find out.
Because you're making your point. You can make your point in other ways.
So the way I see it, we're completely addicted to fossil fuels. Have you ever tried to ask someone to stop smoking?
Yes, look, I know.
So I've asked my dad to stop smoking, and that's because I loved him, yes? And he was told that if he keeps smoking, he's going to get cancer. Yes. And the scientists will tell him, he's going to get cancer. But it's not a very pleasant process. No, one second. Could I just finish? Because you're asking me about the disruption, and I'm accepting.
What is she doing? She's
no,
skirting the
but
question.
But he's not letting her speak.
She's not answering the question. He wants to know about the tactics. We're not disputing the fact that smoking kills, and maybe there's an issue with oil or whatever. That discussion can be had. I'm willing to have that discussion with anyone. But he's asking her about her tactics and the climate protesters' tactics. It's not about the message. I'm willing to listen to the message, as I'm sure most people, if you're telling them their quality of life is being affected, I'm sure they're willing to listen to you. They're not willing to listen to you when you're acting like a 5-year-old. I'm not talking about your message now. This guy's not talking about your message. He's talking to you about your tactics, and you're not answering the question. He's not doing a Piers Morgan here. He's not interrupting her like Piers Morgan does, where he doesn't let people finish their points. He asked her a question and she's not answering the question, because she knows that if those people stood in front of her, the people that she's affected, she wouldn't have anything to say to them, because her whole message is that we need to protect human life. But then she's okay sacrificing people in the pursuit of that. So she's full of shit.
The disruption you're causing.
Yeah, I'm accepting that it isn't pleasant, and I'm accepting that we feel empathy for all of those people out there. But what we're trying to do is to get everyone to come together, to get our government to stop licensing new oil and gas in order to save life.
But there are ways of doing it that can avoid tens of thousands of people having their lives completely disrupted.
Just weeks ago, a third of Pakistan was underwater. The rains have failed in Somalia for the 5th year in a row, meaning mothers cannot feed their children.
But we know that, and we covered that. We had correspondents out there. There is a COP27 conference.
You may have been covering it, but the media has failed to make political change.
Hang on,
Politics has failed us. I'm 28. This is the 27th COP conference. And what has happened every single year? The emissions have risen and risen and risen. If you were doing your job properly, everyone would be out on the street.
So we have a
But they're not. And I really want you to understand.
No,
do you know how grave the situation is?
I do understand.
And do you have children?
Look. Okay, there's two sides to this. Yes, the media may not portray information in the way they need to. I can agree with you there. But you are doing your job poorly as well. Because if you were doing your job properly, we would be out there protesting with you. We've all seen you online. Your videos have millions of hits. Everyone in the UK is aware of the climate protests. You're not doing your job properly. Because there's plenty of protests that have existed throughout human history that the media has not pushed, and they've organically grown because people are willing to listen to the message. Whether the message is right or wrong, the people that put that out there, it resonated with the public. Your message is not resonating with the public because the method that you are taking is stupid. The sooner you get that through your thick skull, Indigo, the sooner people are going to rally behind you. But if you don't understand that, Indigo Rumbelow, then I'm sorry, but no one's going to help you. I am not going to run to your aid.
So if you was a protester, how would you protest?
But I don't have the answer for how they should go about it. I just know that this is wrong.
But then when the girls went to the art museum and then threw soup on that was wrong as well.
Yeah, what they're all doing
when they
is
was
wrong.
throwing the milk off the shelves, and I don't know if that was for a different protest, but when they were throwing the milk off the shelves and the thing, that was wrong.
Yeah, but
when they're throwing paint on things at London, that was wrong. So what we need right now is like an answer and a solution as to how they can protest. That's not going to get everyone going. That's wrong.
No, their message or what they want to get across is they want the British public on their side.
Yeah.
Right. So we know that protests don't always solve the problems because the government's fob us off or whatever.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they're trying to protest to make us see that what's going on is wrong and that we need to stand behind them.
Yeah.
The problem is that the method they are taking to do that is not resonating with us. So if you want to get a group of people on your side, like if I say you and your sisters are standing outside and I want you guys to take my side on something, I'm going to have to put it in a way that resonates with you so you take my side, whether I'm right or wrong. If I start clicking my fingers and demanding that you and your sisters come and take my side, are you going to listen to me? Even if I'm right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. No.
That is the problem here. It's not the fact that you can't protest, and it's not the fact that you might not have a decent point to make. It's the fact that you're going about it the wrong way. If the British public, the people that you want on your side are telling you, we don't like this, and then the government also ignores you, you're becoming public enemy number one. You're trying to rally everyone against the enemy, and in doing so have become the enemy. And this guy's made his questions very, very clear. Your tactics. He's only talking about your tactics. Maybe they should do a discussion with a bunch of people that are more intelligent than me that can figure out a way for them to protest and maybe get the message across to the British public that we need to stand with them. But this form of protest is not working.
And do you have children?
I've got children.
And do you love those children?
Indigo, please, I understand the point you're making. You are here today to justify the tactics. You're effectively
Do you love those children more than you love fossil fuels?
You are committing a crime. Why should...
That's what we're asking you to do. We're asking you to side with young people who are asking our government very politely, in line with the UN, saying that we need to come off fossil fuels.
Okay. That's one point.
With the knowledge that we're going to go over 1.5 degrees and this will undermine the rule of law, we're asking people...
Stop shouting at me, Indigo.
To just...
Look, you are breaking the law. Your protests are law-breaking. Why should you be allowed to interfere with the rights of ordinary, law-abiding people going about their daily business? That's the question I'm asking.
Let's, me and you, we can come together, we'll put a referendum up and it'll say, would you like to destroy much of life on Earth, including everything you know and love, or... would you like to not? Would you like your government to insulate your house, give you an affordable public transport system, tax the polluters who are making money off people who are starving and cold and hungry in their homes this winter? What do you want to do? So destroy everything we know and love.
Why are you at COP27 making this point? Why are you at COP27? That is the forum
destroy everything you know and love,
this point.
Or not.
There are more oil lobbyists at COP27 than there are people like you. Why aren't you there making your point?
Yeah, and back to this idea. Isn't that disgusting?
Why do you...
Imagine that. Think about my dad when he was smoking. Imagine if the cancer research invited Benson and Hedges into their, debate on what they're going to do about lung cancer.
Answer me this, Indigo, answer me this. What do you achieve?
It's disgusting.
Well, I haven't asked the question yet.
This girl is so frustrating. I can only imagine how annoying it is to deal with her on a day-to-day basis. She's not listening.
This is it. He just keeps on trying to talk about the tactics, and she can't answer that question. She does just keep swerving it and going back to her original point of why it's being done. And he's said so many times, I understand, but I'm talking about your tactics.
Yeah, she's not listening. Like he just said to you, why are you not at the conference? Whether they invited lobbyists for oil or not is irrespective of the point. Why are you and your people not there protesting either inside the conference or outside. Go and disrupt their conference if you feel like those are the people that are negatively affecting us. If you want to protect us and the future generations, why are you not out there protesting against those people? Why are you not outside 10 Downing Street doing whatever you want to do? You throw paint in an art museum. I mean, wouldn't it make more sense to throw paint at the people that you're against, which is the government? I'm not even saying that they should be throwing paint at those people, but it makes no sense that you're disrupting our lives. You know, I take my friend to an art museum for the day, and now I've got to watch your stinky ass stuck to the wall on a painting that we came to see, which did nothing. Yeah. All it did was get you a bunch of hits on social media and further turn people against you. People like Joe Rogan were talking about it with massive platforms, cussing you out. You're not getting anyone on your side. I hate to break it to you, nobody is on your side. It's no wonder that they don't understand. If this is one of their leaders, then they're all as stupid as each other. Because this girl doesn't seem to know left from right. But instead of just answering the question or maybe trying to explore different avenues with this guy so that we can watch this and be like, okay, you know, there is a problem and they're trying. You've just doubled down and you've made me hate you even more. How many hits does this have? Almost 1 million people have seen you embarrass yourself. I'm guessing the comments are turned off. Yep. The comments are turned off because I'm guessing a bunch of people were sending abuse after watching this because it is deeply frustrating to watch this girl.
I haven't asked the question yet. Answer me this. What do you achieve by attacking things people hold dear? Things people hold dear.
Yeah.
Like works of art.
Yeah.
Like statues. What do you achieve by that, honestly?
Yeah, you've asked me a very reasonable question.
What do you achieve by that?
So we've been disrupting the art galleries. We've been disrupting football matches. We've been disrupting the M25. And we're saying the media is not doing their job properly and they're not telling you the truth about what's coming down the line.
Listen,
the governments are not
program.
acting.
So
we need people to come together, face up to the truth that we're going to pass over this threshold of 1.5 degrees of warming. We're going to plummet towards total destruction.
Indigo, we have climate programs, so go on climate programs and talk about that. Go to COP27 and talk about that. But there are people across this country who are fed up with having their lives disrupted by your people. And if you want to talk about what Just Stop Oil is, what is Just Stop Oil? Just Stop Oil, what, now? When? How soon do you want to just stop oil?
That's a really good question.
Because the economy, it seems to me, and I'm sure you'll agree, is driven. Economies around the world are driven by oil. So when do you want to stop oil?
We will agree there are more things that are important than the economy, won't we?
Would you agree then?
Could I just tell you, because it was a good question.
By 2050 enough for you?
So
is that net zero by 2050
let me explain the demand, because I think you'll find it very, very reasonable. All we are doing, in order to stop the disruption, the government would have to say, we're going to stop issuing the 130 new licences for drilling in the North Sea, and we're going to say no to the pending coal mine decision.
But
and we've got 7 years of reserves.
So my question
to
you then
say 5,
is why do you have to go and hang off gantries above the busiest motorway in Britain? You've said it. I mean, the other thing you said...
Let's get Rishi Sunak in here and say, you've got rid of some of Truss's toxic legacy. One second. He put fracking away. He said, oh, what a silly idea. She's brought in this new fracking. Well, now he needs to say, I have an opportunity here to go to the COP conference and say, Britain is going to lead the way.
Indigo.
We're going to stop drilling for new oil and gas.
You said in a newspaper the other day, in order to protect your freedom, your rights, and all that you love, will you stand with us? Now, it seems to me that what you're doing on these motorways and what you're doing to cause the police no end of problem, and what you're doing in risking your lives as well as people's lives on the motorway, people are not going to come and stand with you. How do you expect people to come and stand with you if you are disrupting their lives to this extent? It doesn't take this to get your message across.
OK, so if it wasn't for women like the suffragettes, I wouldn't have a vote. I couldn't own anything, I don't think.
This is what they do every time. They always go back to the suffragettes, always go back to first wave feminism. Listen, they had their own tactics that people didn't agree with then. But we live in a different time now. The internet is here. Everyone can see what you're doing. So where they may have gotten away of doing certain things back then, even if they were justified in doing it then, it doesn't mean what you're doing is justified. You can't pull on that protest to justify what you're doing. If you keep doing what you're doing, like I said before, if you keep fucking around, you are going to find out it's not working. This girl does not know how to communicate. She doesn't know how to communicate with people, and that's the main problem here. If you're trying to get a message across, you need to know how to speak to people, and she doesn't. She clearly doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't.
I mean, we don't need to see the rest. There's like 10 seconds left anyway. This message, this just oil thing, it's not working. You guys need to change your message and change your methodology, because you're pissing everyone off. You have no support from the British public outside of the lunatics that stand with you on the M25. And I promise you, just read a history book. This is not going to end well. And it shouldn't take one person's passing for you guys to go, maybe we should revise our tactics. Let's say that you decide to protest in the wrong area. Or let's say you're in central London, you know, you don't think anything could happen there because it's a lot of peace. And the wrong people are there. We've seen how easy it is for people to kill these days.
Yeah, as well, I think along with that, if somebody maybe was to lose a family member because of a protest, that person might end up just going on a rampage and just, you know, it's going to become war. Everyone's going to be killing each other.
Yeah, but the thing is that, like I said before, you guys are outnumbered. That's the problem here. In every situation, you are outnumbered. Every time you're blocking the roads, the only reason you're walking away unscathed is because the people that you have blocked have been able to restrain themselves. If you keep doing that shit, you are going to block the wrong person. And for the final time, if you keep fucking around, you are going to find out.